And remember, finding zeros just means you're calculating for what value of x gives you an f of x value or a y value of 0. So you're just finding where does the graph cross the x-axis. Okay. So again, all of this, finding zeros, solutions, there might be used interchangeably. Okay, but if I gave you a function that looked like this, and I asked you to find the zeros, okay, so and you saw something like this on your quiz, and read carefully what it's asking. What kind of zeros is this asking for? All, not just real, not just rational. Okay, remember, it's going to be one of those three usually. Okay, so key into that. Make sure you understand that when you are solving or finding a zero, easiest thing to do is use solve or C-solve. To find your zeros. So if we took this equation, plugged it into our solve feature, set it equal to 0. It's the values of x that give you a function equal to 0. Okay, so what we can do here is choose solve, and then type our equation exactly as it appears. Okay, and we're going to choose to set that equation equal to 0 and identify x from that equation. Okay. And then when you hit enter, okay, now we got 1, 0 here. Okay, so we know that one of our zeros is the point 1, 0, right? How many zeros are there going to be with this? And there's 4 zeros. Right now, again, sometimes the zeros might be repeated zeros. They might be imaginary or complex zeros. Okay? Or they might be the real or rational zeros, whatever you're looking for. But check your power. If you don't get 4 zeros when you write it in this form or when you use the solve, you may need to go back in and try it with C-solve. So if we just put the letter C in front and hit enter, we can now see the other zeros are negative 3i and 3i. Okay. What this means is the 0, 1, or the factor x minus 1, which again, remember how factors correspond to the zeros. It means that this factor is repeated. Okay, so if you were looking to factor this expression, the fact that you only see 3 zeros here means that this factor is probably being squared. Okay, and then when you look at this factor here, you have x plus 3i, and here you have x minus 3i. Remember, imaginary zeros, or these complex zeros, always come in pairs. Okay. You're always going to see these as pairs in here. Okay. All right, so I want you to just really quickly see if you can find the zeros for the following function. And so again, if you choose solve, set your function x cubed minus 2x squared plus 5x minus 10 equal to 0. Identify x as what you're solving for. When you hit enter, again, we see that we just get the 1, 0, 2, 0. And so we need to find any other complex zeros here. We expect that there are a total of 3. So we have this negative 5i. Oops. And its conjugate pair, square root 5i. Okay, and so here, those would be your 3 zeros that correspond to this. Once again, and I'm just trying to kind of set up for the next thing that we're going to talk about, but if you wanted to know what factors correspond to these zeros, it's always going to be the factor x minus whatever the 0 is. So x minus 2, x minus a negative root 5i, x plus, or I'm sorry, x minus root 5i. So these would be all your factors that would give you this polynomial.